is it. I am somewhere where a lot of y'all is wishing that y'all could be at. It's not open to the public. Something nasty. Come with me, man. Oh, and of course, before we get started, gotta shout out All Valley. Merch is coming, y'all. Make sure y'all stay tuned. Maybe within like the next 1 or 2 videos, I'll have a link so y'all can start buying what's in your garage, true t-shirts, etc., etc. I got y'all. But come with me real quick, man. Check this out. Most people won't be able to come inside these gates. I'm gonna let you know right now. You can see by the scenery, some stuff is about to be chopped up. Come on now, who else y'all know got one of these? Big Dog. What's up, man? What's up with you? Man, good to see you, brother. Good to see you too, man. Shoot, let's get ready to show these people what you're all made of. All right, man. So you want to tell me about the shop and what you got going on, brother?
Yeah, I've been in business for 23 years. This is the Cruzwell compound. The name of my company is Cruzwell Manufacturing, and we do everything from make parts to build these old cars. We mainly try to focus on 30s to 50s GM stuff if I can help it, but we do a little bit of everything. So this is it.
Perfect, man. Let's first start off with this ride right here, man. Tell me about this one.
So this is my 1940 Chevy convertible. I got this one quite a few years back. I'm not even exactly sure how many years. I want to say maybe about 4 years now. Mm-hmm. And it was completely bone stock. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it, but it didn't take very long for me to bust out a couple of sawzalls and cutting wheels and make this happen. So the first thing I did was lay it out on lifts. So it's a 24-volt system. I did a single battery. Got a bunch of junk in the trunk here, but that's my setup. Mostly Hoppo stuff that I use for doing hydraulics these days. If I can help it, I'll use accumulators when I need to. Try to get a nice ride out of these cars.
Yeah.
So, no hopping, no three-wheeling around here, but we're...
But 2 batteries holds this up? It handles it for the 2?
2 batteries will hold itself, and...
you wanna hit it? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Get this side.
What? So it does what it has to do.
Oh, I love that drop down, brother.
It'll get me anywhere. So that's my baby. Well, one of them anyway. I got quite a few.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
let's do a little shop tour. Ooh, what is this?
So this is my 1953 pickup. I've had this thing for 24 years. Uh-huh. And chopped 3 inches. I suicided the doors. I put 54 Buick lights in the front, and I've got some 39 Chevy car taillights to put on it. So it's in the middle of being worked on. I'm going to rip all the air right out of this one, and this one's getting hydraulic lifts as well. And I'm hoping that by the end of the year, it'll be painted, upholstery will be done, and it'll be hitting the streets for the first time in like 18 or 19 years. So it's been a long time.
Let's check it out. This thing is bad. What's going on here in the bed?
So I've had this thing so long. This is kind of where it all started. I taught myself how to bend tubes and weld, and basically everything you see here was like a prototype project for myself to prove, like a proof of concept thing. So my old panhead Harley would go in the back, and I'd take it to shows, and had a little fun with it doing that. But I think I'm going to cut all this out. I'm going to redo it to where it just has a normal truck bed now, and I just want to enjoy it. Working on the inside right now. So,
oh, that suicide door.
Yeah, suicide doors. Putting a dash out of a 53 car that a friend of mine gave me, and doing some custom stuff over on the other side. I've got a old black and white Sony TV that's French in the middle. I still have a little metal work to do there. And I've got an old Color Sonic Ted Wells color bar sunk into the dash over there. So just in the middle of doing the metal work, any spare time I have, I kind of try to keep working on this thing. So the doors took me a little bit, but I just OCD about these things being perfect.
Oh,
and
wow, that was a beautiful close.
Yeah. That's the introduction.
Right, that was a beautiful close. These wheels, tell me about these wheels.
Okay, so these wheels here, they're called Phaeton Hawks. They're from the 60s. They were like a race car wheel. And what I did was, they were never chrome. I've never seen a chrome set.
No,
so I
neither.
cut them apart, and I've rebarreled many wheels where I buy or send standard barrels to get re-chromed and change where the valve stem hole would be from the inside or outside. So these I actually bought 4 barrels. I chromed the centers, I welded them back together, and now they're 14/7 reverse, so it's like a more lowrider style. I still got some spinners to throw on here, and then these are some real old tires that would come from like Ford dealers would sell these as an option on Mustangs or whatever, and it's a US Royal tire, dual red line, and I think the objective was to have it look like a Hot Wheels, so it's really a big toy for me.
Man, yeah, this is awesome. Is the roof chopped?
The roof is chopped 3 inches, yeah, which is one of the mods. The suicide doors, the chop. These headlights are out of a 54 Buick. So a couple things, everything's shaved on it, including the hood's got no molding, no trim. It's not split in the middle anymore.
Oh, I see that.
Yeah, so once I go to body work the whole thing and re-chrome everything, I'm still not sure if I want to run this on this truck or not, but it's just, you know, as time goes by, you find some interesting and rare parts, and
right.
it's hard to pass.
Were those? Oh, they actually made those for this type of truck, right? Or
yeah,
no?
this was actually for this truck. This was actually a gift from a friend of mine. Shout out to Angel, hooked it up. I was looking for one, and he said, I have one hanging on the wall. Pull up. So I did, and he just handed it to me. So I can't wait to do something cool for him, man. That's what's cool about this community, man. It's just, there, you know, there's a couple bad apples, but there's some really good people. You know what I mean?
For real. I know exactly what you're saying,
Yeah.
brother.
So.
Man, this thing is beautiful. It is on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. That's how I love them.
Don't get much lower.
Oh, man. That's how I love them. Those tires, these wheels, everything is perfect.
Definitely something different.
Wow. Shoot. What's this up here on the lift?
So that's a really rare car. That's a 1936 Pontiac. I saw it in the background of somebody's story that went to Ohio to buy another Pontiac, a convertible, and I saw it in the background like it was in a barn or something, and it's a friend of mine. I hit him up and said, is that car for sale? He's all, I can ask. And so he asked, and he said, yeah, he said he'll sell it. And I just I sent him the money and had him bring both. He brought both cars home. So the reason why I wanted this one so bad is these old 30s cars, you don't really find too many that are 3-window coupes. They usually have the side quarter window in the back. And so this is a 3-window coupe. It's the perfect year. I think 35 is like a good starting year for most cars. I mean, 35 was a good year too, because they had a lot of 2-door cars that came with factory suicide doors. But when I saw the factory side mount spare tires and the fact that it had 2, at any cost I had to have it. So I just made some moves, and it took me about a day or 2, and I sold a 39 Chevy to get that. So it was worth it for me.
Let's see if I can show y'all in a little detail here.
I definitely plan on actually taking a little off the top. I'm going to chop the top. I'm going to suicide the doors. There'll be some flush mounted skirts in the back, and then I'm just going to lay it on the ground on some lifts, and we're just going to have fun with it and enjoy it.
Oh, we're going to put hydraulics on that one too?
We're going to put hydraulics on.
Like I'm part of it.
Everything. Everything gets hydraulics around here.
Love it. My screen went blank. There we go. Those are pretty rare then, huh? I don't really see too many of these.
No, you don't see them at all. I've only seen one other one on the road. And what I really liked about these is the front grille. It goes from under the car and it goes all the way to the windshield. I think they call it a waterfall grille.
Oh yeah. And I'm pretty sure it's hard to find too if you need one.
Yeah, you have to have a good chrome guy that can fix anything. So luckily it's real complete. There's not a whole lot of things I got to chase down. And anything that I need for this thing, I'm probably going to make, whether it's shaping some metal, repairing, you know, anything wrong with the fenders, anything. I mean, I've got my hands full when I chop the roof. I've got a lot of metal work to do. So, but I'm looking forward to it. That's like my therapy. So,
You got to set up you got an office underneath here or what?
I got lucky to find that table. That came from a Domino's Pizza apparently, but I got
No way.
Yep, I got it from a guy who had a really cool shop, and he was closing down, and I ended up going over there just in time, and I bought so much cool shit from him, including that table. So I keep all my shipping stuff in the back, but that's like the laboratory right there. We start there, inspect stuff, and it either ends up in the trash or on a car.
Love it.
It's like the purgatory for stuff. It's like we'll figure out where it goes from there, but it usually starts there. So
all right,
that's kind of like when you get home, you drop your keys and your wallet on the,
right,
on the thing.
table.
Yeah, pretty much. So
now you were saying that this one over here.
Okay, so
Let's tell the story on that one.
Okay, so that car actually belonged to a guy by the name of Mike Pickle, and Mike was a very well-known artist. He did a lot of bomb art, so all the 30s to 50s cars. As a matter of fact, let me show you.
Yeah, please show everything.
Yeah, I'm real proud of this because a real good friend of mine, Terry Nails, who's been in my club. I'm from the Dukes Car Club, by the way. And the thing about Mike Pickle, he used to be from the Dukes. And this is a pretty famous poster that he did. This was a painting that he did. And so this is the famous Dukes Burgers poster. This is an original. You know, that's his signature that's very well known in my little world. And
it's not a little world. Go ahead.
So you know, I've got a few of his original posters, but best of all, I have his car, and he pretty much daily drove that thing, and he was very proud of it, and I had the opportunity to buy it, and I was in the position to, and I just made it happen. So him and I became friends. It started with Instagram, and I had bought a Fleet line that I'll show you in a minute.
Okay.
I bought a Fleet line, and I started working on it. I started cutting it up, putting lifts on that, and he messages me, and I'm like, whoa, it's Mike Pickle messaging me. And he's like, hey, I'm really glad that car ended up in your hands. And he started telling me the story about the Fleet line, how he helped the guy I bought it from get it started running, this and that. And the car had a lot of history to it. It's an old East LA Lowrider that, if I'm not mistaken, that there was a guy that owned it. I think he went to prison. That dude's old lady had it, sold it.
Wow.
Maybe some gang stuff, I don't know what. Yeah. To where it came with a whole, you know, another story that I really don't know the end of it. And I do know who ended up with it though. So a guy by the name of Frank, who used to do upholstery, Frank Rodello, I believe is the name. And I went over there to his house, and I walked through his house, and there was nothing but Lowrider magazine plaques all over the walls, everywhere. I didn't realize who he was, and apparently, I mean, he did a lot of famous Lowriders and Barris cars and all sorts of stuff. And so all the work he did, he had his own plaque from the magazine company with photos of the article.
What?
So I felt good about buying the car because of the story that he told me. I hope it's true, by the way. And
I guess we'll find out.
but the good part about it is, you know, Mike working on it with him, that was his real good friend. And bought the car, started doing some stuff, became friends with Mike over that car. And I remember him telling me that he was glad that it ended up in my hands, because it's probably in about the best place it can be,
right,
considering what I was doing to it. I think he kind of saw it as like, for the car, it was like a dream come true. This thing,
right?
Like, I don't know if you remember the old Disney cartoon episode. I remember when I was a kid where, I don't know if it was Goofy or somebody went to like some junkyard to buy this little car and brought it back to life, and all of a sudden it had like a second lease at life. And I felt like that was that car's story too. It was just something that was very dormant and just, you know, not like it was falling apart, but it wasn't all there.
Right.
And I brought it back to life, and then I saw something else that I wanted real bad, so I put it up for sale. So the guy that, you know, I left for the Santa Maria car show, and you know, I was only gone for a few days, but the guy who wanted it more than the other 40 people that messaged me for the thing was the one and only Jack Rudy. And I don't know if you know who Jack is, but he's he's an old timer from back in the day. Started one of the first tattoo shops, and I guess his first shop was in East LA. Yeah. And eventually, Good Time Charlie was his business partner. They ended up moving to Orange County somewhere. I think in Anaheim is where Good Time Charlie's is now. And so anyway, Jack recently passed away, but he bought the car off of me. Yeah. I did some work for him, and I'm just happy that he had a chance to drive it once. You know, we finished the job. He just didn't have anywhere to put the car, so I'm babysitting the thing still. And but I was lucky enough to have had a chance to take a drive in it with him. He came over here to just hang out one night, and he's a night owl, so he'd be here till 1, 2 in the morning, and just chopping it up. We went for a ride. I pulled it out for him, and we took it for a spin. And the best part about it was that I recorded him driving it while he was telling the story about how he got into lowriding. And he's from the Beatniks Car Club, so he's you know, heavily ingrained into the car scene. Yeah. He's got many cars between here and somewhere in Arizona. He's got a house, and all these historic cars that we know so well. I think he's got a 52 Chevy that's chopped. He's got like a 50 Chevy pickup that's chopped on lifts, another Chevy car, and they're all just pretty much full customs. You know, they all kind of left a staple for its time. A lot of cool people he's had a chance to work with. One of the guys that worked on one of his cars, I remember, was Brad Masterson, who used to be out of George Barris's old shop that caught on fire in Linwood. So all these cars come with a really cool story.
Right. Yeah,
I'm glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, let's definitely go check that out.
So the cool thing about this car for an artist like him, you know, maybe he'd go set up shop at shows or whatever, or he can put all his art in the back. So that's what's really cool about these sedan deliveries. They're pretty rare. You don't really see them out there. It's an acquired taste. It's not everybody that wants one. To me, owning it, I'm gonna have a friend of mine actually hand letter the sides with my business name, and I think that just kind of like legitimizes what I'm doing. I feel like I one more step to being able to feel like I can say I made it, you know?
Right.
Is to have,
you made it, brother. Because you was wondering.
I think it's just you know, there's so many steps left to go, and it's probably endless, but I always feel like I'm at the beginning, even though, you know, I'm out here helping people that really are at the beginning. I'm making parts for them, and, you know, trying to help teach how to do some of this stuff. You know, very limited on time, but we're trying to start a little channel ourselves and see if we can't really teach the young, you know what I mean?
So tell them now, where can they find you at on
right now? Well, don't have a YouTube channel quite yet, but
it's coming.
Yeah, in the next few weeks. So yeah. So right now you can find us on Instagram under Cruzwell_MFG, or my personal page, which is Zero Fucks, ZERO_PHUCKS. So a little more action on that page right now. The business page is gonna be more parts and this and that. In regards to you know, a little bit of everything from funny memes to cruising cars, yeah. So that's where I'm at. So right now what I'm doing to this thing is I'm actually cutting it up to put lifts on it. So I've already started to do all the rear suspension stuff. The front will be easy. We're just gonna utilize all the original front components and just add the cylinders to it. In the rear, it's a little more complex. We're gonna get rid of the leaf springs and do a small notch, a bridge, and we're gonna hide everything under the floor. So I don't wanna see any strokes inside, but I still want it to be on the ground, so I gotta get real tricky with it underneath.
So you're gonna lay this one out too then?
I might not be like some of these other ones, but it's gonna be pretty close to the ground, yeah. Okay. I just wanna be able to load up the back or take a nap back there if I have to, whatever it takes.
Let's see if I can check it out a little bit for
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
It's a 1953 Chevy. I recently took it to the Grand National Roadster Show, and a lot of people recognize it. I mean, it was Mike's baby, so it's almost a trip to see it out there because no one really knows where it ended up.
What? It's nice. It's nice.
It's in good hands.
So probably next time y'all see this bad boy, it is going to be on somewhere close to the ground. I like these wheels.
It's gonna be on the ground. You got some Starwires there.
I like those. Wow, the visor.
Oh yeah, I think it's got a good look with that visor.
So I get a little bit of the front. It looks good, man. Love it.
Yeah, one day at a time with it, man. I can't wait to bust out. So the goal is to have it ready for Santa Maria.
Tell me about these motors.
Okay, so these are all inline 6 Chevy motors. This would be an original 216. It's the kind of engine that we would actually take out of a car to put in like a 250 or a 292, and these are newer. When I say newer, they're like 70s engines, and the cool thing about these is they'll fit in just about the same spot as the original engine, but they'll mate up to a automatic transmission, like a turbo 350 or a
Gotcha.
700 R4.
Yeah.
So you're able to easily adapt an automatic transmission with overdrive and take one of these older cars and just jam down the freeway at 85, no problem. You know, you gotta swap the rear end, do a few other little things, maybe some brake upgrades, but that's the way we do them around here. You know, some guys are real big on the LS stuff. I like that too,
Yeah.
but we try to keep it nostalgic if we can help it, somewhat.
Love it. What are we doing with this bad boy? What year is it?
This one here, this is a very rare car. So this is a 1936 Oldsmobile convertible with a rumble seat. And what's special about it is it's got dual side mounts, which is a very rare thing to even see one of these cars, let alone with side mounts. Typically cars like old Buicks from those days, a lot of them had them, but to find something like this is a real unicorn. So my friend Al brought it over to me to basically drop in one of these GM engines, automatic transmission, and we're putting lifts on it as well, so it's going to lay on the ground.
Now, when you say side mounts, for people who don't know, I guess
that's the spare tires that mount on the front fenders. Yeah.
Got you. So we'll check that out.
Yep.
Ooh-wee.
So he took the tires out before bringing it so we can work on the car, but you can kind of see the weld there. And all that good stuff.
So. You say you're cutting this one too?
Yep, we're cutting this one too. Everything gets cut around here.
Man, I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah, on this one here, so instead of upgrading to something newer for front suspension, I had ABS in orange make a disc brake conversion kit for it. And to get it to lay lower to the ground, there used to be a company called Fat Man Fabrications that made uprights. They would be like a drop spindle. They're no longer in business, and I'm not sure if they ever made one for this car anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step the lower arm and raise the upper arm, and then I'm going to eliminate the knee action, which was basically, this is the knee action here. And what this is, it's like a friction shock. It's filled with oil. It's got valving, so as the arm goes up and down, it gives you resistance, so you get a smoother ride instead of it just bouncing. So unfortunately, we need this out of the way for the cylinder to pop through. So we're going to be making, so I'm going to be cutting these arms up, and I'm going to be fabricating some stuff up to basically have a cross shaft out of tubing, and then these will be what connect to the new raised arm mount. So I'm still kind of engineering that, if you will.
Yeah,
I like using that word. I like using that word when I can.
Yeah, I see it coming though.
So that's that one there. We're doing something similar to this other car here, which
this one.
Yep, that's a very, very rare Chevrolet. It's a 1933 Phaeton, and this one here in particular is a 4-door convertible, which makes it really rare. And
wow.
We're actually doing a drivetrain swap in this. He's from my club as well. His name is Butter, and he's been in the, I want to say he's been in the club the longest. He's been in our club for over 40 years. So he's in Ventura.
Big numbers.
Yeah, he was the youngest guy in the club back in the day, and now his son's the youngest guy in the club today. And they're still, they're keeping it going, yeah. So he wants to keep up. You know, we're always jamming on the freeway, and he's always saying that, you know, he wish he could take this on the freeway with us, but these old cars were made to drive on dirt roads back in the day. They weren't made to do 80, but it's going to be made to do 80 now, and it's getting hydraulic lifts too. So we're cutting that one too.
I see a little bit of it.
Yeah, we got started on it. Yep. So what I did here is I started fabricating a link setup. It's going to be a behind the axle coilover setup. So the strokes will poke through the floor. They'll be hidden under the seat. And we've got a cross member back there that we've made to accommodate all this stuff. And before you know it, we'll have it all painted up, put back together, and we'll have the batteries and probably a single pump behind the back seat. There's not much space, but we're going to create some space. If we've got to hollow out the seat, we will.
Wow.
So most of these old cars came with leaf springs, so the first thing we do is we create a system for the rear, something that would be more of like a dead weight. With leaf springs, it's still spring steel, so if you start pulling springs out or de-arching leaves, it's not going to be the same as having actual just dead weight of the car on the coil spring. Gotcha. You don't need coil springs and leaf springs, so we just, you know, we obviously need the coil springs to do the the hydraulics, and
Right.
so that gives us the chance to eliminate all this stuff, and it promotes a lot better drivability. You know, you're able to really well do several things, including a more modern rear end and things. Be a lot better for the freeway.
Okay.
And we like to drive these things. So
Wow.
what's cool about this car, I mean, it only has 5,000 original miles.
That's
it just
the crazy
hit
part.
5,000 miles, and the thing's almost 100 years old, you know. And so to think that I'm over here cutting this thing and changing the drivetrain, I don't want to say there was nothing wrong with it, but you know what? You can't take this stuff with you, so you might as well make it how you like it. You know what I mean?
True.
So yeah,
damn, that's a true one.
if it was $1 million car, I'll talk you out of this, but it's not.
Yeah,
so
right.
guess what? I have news for you, buddy.
Okay, man. Even the shop wheel here.
Oh man, we see on the folks right there, man. Thanks, folks. 84s.
I love it. What you know about that?
Man. Well, these happen to be some of my favorite wheels, but I think these were derived from, I think the popularity came, when did Mike Jones pop on the scene? I want to say that must have been 2000-ish, right?
Ish, yeah, 2003,
Okay.
2004, 5.
So I remember sitting, I had a Suburban I was sitting in, and I remember just pulling into my driveway and just hearing it for the first time,
Yeah.
and it went crazy, you know what I mean? And next thing you know, you're watching these videos, pow wow, just
Right. Look, I thought I was the only one that watched that.
oh man! Oh, and I see you're right. I see you're
Yeah,
right.
that's
man.
lab, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, they started in '83 and '84.
Yep.
The Cadillacs had front-wheel drive Starwires made by Krager or Weld, and you really couldn't put those on just anything unless you spaced them out because the offset was
Right, it was crazy.
way off, right? So, but people would do it, especially in Texas, right? And was it Houston?
Yeah.
That's where it started. So, the thing about that is you can see how the center pokes way out, hence the name pokes, right?
Poke.
So, on the front wheel drive, the offset would have these things hanging out to here.
Yeah.
Well, they've exaggerated it quite a bit since then because
Yeah,
they got them
super-
how many inches now?
Oh man, they're up to like 20, 24 inches now.
24
poking out.
inches, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
84 is poking
That's
out.
status now, yeah.
Yeah, so, and then for a while there, to find an original set, they were big money.
Big money.
But then we started buying up what we can find. I mean, things come back around every however many years. And so the Starwire wheels, I mean, they were hot as hell in the 80s, and if you can find an NOS set today, they made them in different styles, 30 spoke, 50 spoke,
sizes, yep.
the bigger hub one, which I've got a set of those too.
Ooh.
And the set I have, I got them from the president of our mother chapter club, and they were at the clubhouse just in the back of a spray booth, just on the ground, pretty bad. And I worked out a deal with them. I'm glad I ended up with them. It's going to take a lot of work to get them real nice, but they are the big hub Starwire Classic, and they're
check
not
those
easy.
out.
Yeah, they're cool, man. They're not easy to find.
Yeah, they're not.
And I am looking for a couple calves, so if anybody has but yeah, so I've got a little collection of those. Just happen to be one of my favorite wheels. Between these, the true spokes, and then I'll have to show you my collection of caps. I got a little bit of everything in there. So.
Talk to me about the 65 though, because I see
we
this
got-
thing over here.
Yeah, we got a 65 Riviera. It's got the original nail head in it. It came to us. It's a friend of mine's, and it was all primered. It was real bad. It was either a birthday or anniversary gift because his wife always knew he wanted one, so she bought him this total basket case. Didn't run. Just ended up on the driveway one day, and he hit me up to do some work to it. And next thing you know, we're doing the suspension. So it's got adjustable suspension. We got it running for the first time in who knows how many decades. Blocked it down, did some metal work, painted it, and next is to get the upholstery done. So that's it's basically in line to do that. And then after that, it's ready to hit the road.
Love it.
Yep.
Love it. Slept on car here. I keep saying, man, them 65 Rivieras, man. That's like, if you talking about lowriding, that's the epitome to me. You ain't got a Rivi.
My favorite one out there right now is a homie Rob, and he's from the Professionals. And you might be familiar with him. He's had a really, it's hard to forget his car.
It's beautiful.
When he pops that trunk, man, it's just incredible. All the aircraft, hydraulic stuff in there.
Everything.
He really knows his stuff, and he was real tight with his club brother, Ted Wells, who, rest in peace, just recently passed away. But I love talking to both of them, including Ted. He was just so much knowledge in one guy, you know. I mean, you couldn't stump the guy when it came to lifts. So he's, you know, talk about triple OG. So, but you know, they kind of paved the way for us. We do hydraulic stuff every day on these cars, and it's kind of nice because of technology and social media and all that. We get to see how it started. We get to see how, you know, Bill Hines was the first guy to ever put hydraulics in an Impala.
Yep.
He did the Buddha buggy, which the family actually recently bought it back, and
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they're restoring it. So that's going to be
another
little chunk of history right there. And it happens to be a friend of mine, which is Bill Hines' grandson, Mitch, and his brother. And so they're working on it out of the house. They got a shop there. But it's just so much history is starting to surface now. There was another guy, Mr. Aguirre, who helped start all the whole hydraulic thing.
Yeah.
I think he had the first car ever on hydraulic. Was called the Fab X. And it's actually in Long Beach now.
It was only cut in the front, right?
I think that one was all the way around.
It was all the way around that one?
Yeah.
Okay,
and
yeah.
I'm
might have
not
been
sure,
his first car he did.
I'm not sure if that's his car. I'm getting some names mixed up, but there's you know, quite a few guys that the Aguirres, I think there were two brothers, but they had a shop and they would do hydraulics, yeah. So those are the founders, man. You know.
Check out what else you got going on, brother.
Aside from that, this is you know, where we do a lot of the fab stuff. We keep all our tools back here. Little bit of everything here, from some metal shaping to metal cutting. You name it, we probably have it.
It's a bead roller?
This is a bead roller, yeah. So this here is pretty cool because we get a lot of these old cars where the trunks are rotted out, or if we're gonna do a big notch, we'll you know, we'll have to re-sheet metal the trunk or make new tubs or whatever. So between the English wheel, the shrinker stretcher, plenishing hammer, bead roller, all these are critical tools to be able to
bring that stuff back.
But it's always going to be in a custom way. But you can always add it because of the fact that it wasn't factory. But you can always kind of add a twist to it. I'll give you a little example. This is a panel I actually made for my '53 pickup. What I did was I just cut the shape out after making a template, and then I drew out the shape that I was looking for a design, and I did a step roll after having just rolled these lines into it and did like a quilted pattern, and it just gives a real nice effect. It makes it almost hard to want to upholster over it.
I'll hang that up by itself.
Yeah, right. A trophy for a car show.
Right. You see what I did?
I made this for you. So.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, man. So that's what we got going on back here.
Okay. Love it, man. This is gonna be crazy right here.
And then we have other customers' cars. This belongs to Todd, which he shipped this here from Texas.
Oh, okay.
He traded a car for it, and he ended up with this, and it had air ride, but he wanted to put lifts on it, so we ripped all that stuff out, and we're in the middle of doing that. But while doing that, we're also swapping out all the drivetrain stuff. So new rear end, new transmission, drive shaft, some brake upgrades.
Oh, wow.
Just a little bit of everything, so it's all freshened up. It's got a 235 now instead of a 216. And then probably in the next month or so we'll have all the batteries, the rack, everything inside the trunk, and hopefully taking up a minimal amount of space. We just 2 or 3 batteries is all we really
I know that's right.
do.
Yeah. Save some trunk space.
Yeah, that and we don't need them hopping off the ground.
Right, no, I just lay it on the dirt.
We try to keep them as reliable as possible. This is a different sport, you know what I mean?
Right.
Low riding didn't start that way. It didn't start with 3-wheeling and hopping. It turned into that.
It turned into it, right.
So,
I'm still from this generation. I just want to sit low.
It's still evolved. But yeah, we like them to sit on the ground, and I like driving them really low. I like to be able to feel the road. Once I feel that it's touching a little bit, a little scrape, you know that everything's all right, you know?
Hell yeah.
So then we got a bunch of cars outside.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to take a look at those.
Yeah. You know, we'll probably go start with the office.
Okay, come on.
Yeah.
Welcome
Man,
to the
just the background, just man.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of signs here. As a matter of fact, I'll show you some of this stuff. You know, there's a lot of history with.
Ooh.
You know, it's kind of a challenge to find some of this stuff, but when you find stuff like that ice cream sign or this Los Angeles sign, these are all old, and to find these online or whatever, luckily we have that, and you're able to find things like this. That Junior Mart sign is historic to like the Wilmington Long Beach area, right off of Pacific Coast Highway. I'm not sure what year it's from, but I mean, it looks like it's probably from the 50s or 60s.
Right.
Some of the neons
Still
original,
lights up, yeah.
and then some of it had to be repaired. So you can see like in the middle, it's a little brighter. Those were probably some broken pieces that somebody repaired, but you can still see that some of the glass is original, which is pretty crazy for it to last this long.
Wow,
It's
you
just
got some cool stuff. Look at this little
Thanks.
strip, man.
Oh yeah.
I know that's right.
Yeah, I seen that color TV one come
On
up for
fridge?
sale. Yeah, on the fridge, yeah. And I had to have it. It looked like it's something that came out of a motel or something.
Right. We
And,
offer color TV here. Like,
yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
crazy.
Got a few other signs out here. Got a neon hotel over here. Oh yeah, that's the old canned ham they call it. Little 9-foot camping trailer.
Oh, this is the original one too, huh?
Oh yeah, that's an oldie.
Man, old gas pump.
pumps, yeah.
Wow.
Another Ocean Motel neon over there.
Wow. Well, you just be online shopping and see them at swap meets. How are you able to find
Well,
these?
sometimes they find me. Sometimes someone will call me and say, "Hey, I got something you might be interested in." And sure as hell, if it's a neon like that, I'm interested as hell.
I know that's right, man. Dude. Ha! I love this. Wow, brother. This is like a museum just in itself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's starting to become, man. This is like home for me. I'm sure I spend a lot more time here than I do at
It'd
home.
be like that, yeah.
You know, so it's like I just try to make it comfortable, and you know, I don't really use my garage at home for much, so this is my little office.
Wow. Oh.
Got some fancy paperweights here.
That's super fancy paperweights.
Oh, man, little by little, I gotta start putting them together. So I got lucky to find these. These are some really rare. These Bendix Eclipse 389s. I mean, they're super hard to find, but I got my hand on these too. So these two will go together in a setup. Got some old school wheel stuff over here on this side of the office.
Check that out now. Oh, wow.
Everything from old Rockets and Fenton, Krager, Superior, Supreme. What else? And some of the Sears Roebuck, True Spoke, Keystone, Raider, Mickey Thompson, Starwire. Yeah, a lot of that. Some of that stuff is extremely rare, and then some of it's a little more common. But
Keystones, what?
hopefully, all gets used one day. If not,
Over here in the corner, as I was showing it, is some Supreme, but it's like colors.
Oh,
was those covers?
I casted those, just kind of practicing with one of an original Supreme 2-bar spinner that I have, and I thought I could make something cool with it, and it just ended up being something to put in the.
Okay, now I was about to say, was that something from back in the day?
Cool. Yeah, well, you know, messed around with a little bit of resin over the years, and with the help of a good friend of mine, steering wheel Chris, we came up with something, and kind of was in the steering wheel business for a little while. This is a resin casted, hand twisted donut style steering wheel, like a 70s Lowrider style steering wheel.
Yeah.
And this was one of the first two. This is a prototype wheel. And this was kind of proof of concept. After this, we made about 45 or 48 more wheels, and they all sold except for the 4 that I have here.
What?
And they didn't go cheap, but they are extremely difficult to make. And if they were any easier to make, I would be making them still. But they're very difficult. That's a twisted, like a Cuban link style chain. That's the twisted one in just a different color. And then this one's right out of the mold. It's never been sanded on or polished or anything.
Oh, wow.
So I figured until I need it, which I'll probably never need it, I'd rather just leave it raw like that, so it kind of tells part of the story.
The story of it.
Yeah. And then here's probably one of my favorite ones is 1949 Chevrolet accessory wheel. But Chris and I made it from scratch. It's all hand twisted, and he casted it. So he probably has 100 molds for these old wheels, and he's able to restore, recast, whatever. And if he doesn't have it, he can make it.
Yeah.
So we took his 49 accessory mold, and I made a core that would fit in it, and we casted it. And on the first try, we got it. But it took about 11 months before we had a final product in hand, and that's going in my 53 pickup eventually. One of the other cool things in here I'd have to say is that Fooey face license plate topper. It's about 100 years old. It came out in the 20s, and it's pretty cool. You hook it up to your brake light, so when you hit your brakes, the lights on the eyes light up.
Yeah.
And the tongue hangs out, and it makes a buzzing noise, so it kind of warns people, you know. So I'm sure it can get annoying after a while. So a little toggle on and off would probably be coming handy for that. But wow, definitely a rare
super collector right there.
Yeah, and they're not cheap,
that.
man. I've seen them go for up to about $5,000, maybe give or take. Got a pretty good deal on it, and I'm afraid to have it on a car.
Hey, I feel you.
God forbid something.
It looks good in that case.
It looks great in that case for now. I mean, we'll put it on for like some of the indoor shows or something, but this came from Los Angeles. This was an actual place, and a friend of mine kept bugging them, hey, you know, the place had gone out of business, but the sign was still there, and he kept going back, like, sell me the sign. It was a two-sided sign hanging up.
Right.
And one day he passed by there, he said, and it was gone. So he pulled into the driveway, and he said, what the hell?
I've been asking.
Yeah, I've been asking about that sign. And he said, somebody crashed into the pole, and it knocked the whole thing over. It's all broken. But you can go in the backyard and check it out. It's still back there. So this was the busted up one. The other one was in real good shape. So he brought them both home, and I worked out a deal, and I just kind of repaired it, put a piece of wood behind it.
Yeah.
Screwed it, glued it, whatever, to make it look like one piece again. And now it's just office art.
Beautiful, my man.
So yeah, little by little, just keep collecting and piling more stuff on. You know, I just running out of room. That's the problem. Mostly with the cars. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah. Let's check out the cars outside.
All right.
Wow, look at this thing, y'all. Wow. You gotta show the inside of that one. Oh, I love that shifter.
Oh yeah, I found out on eBay. It came from some other country, and it's probably about 30 years old. I bought a couple of them, and I saw it. I had to have it. So it didn't make it here. A lot of guys like all this original stuff. But
the fan, does it work pretty good for you, or?
You know what? It's a really old fan, and it's 6 volt. Cars since then been converted to 12, and all the wires were brittle. But the best air conditioning I get out of this thing is just put the top down. Yeah.
Man, look at this thing, y'all.
I say it's mostly for looks.
Yeah, let's check out what we got out.
All right, let's see. Out here in the yard, we got a few of my rides, a couple customer cars. We'll start with this one here. It started off as a 1953 Lincoln Capri. Since then, I have taken the front end off of a 58 Lincoln, and I bought some fenders off a guy when I was going to do a few custom touches to this thing. So I actually cut the fenders up just for the headlights. So it's cut right here, and I grafted them in. This peak here used to be here, so I had to scoot that over, mold them to the original fender, and then before throwing the rest of the fender away, I was like, let me see what I can do with the quarter of it. So I ended up cutting this out of the 58 fender, but it was too long and interfered with the doors, so I ended up cutting it down and chopping it down, and I made it fit. I had to kind of make this whole corner here. It was a little bit of a learning experience, but it came out pretty good. Floated the hubcap, so the hubcaps never move, so you always see that caddy logo.
Okay, yeah.
Stays still. I got that, happening with a couple of my rides.
It stays like that when he's driving.
Yep, stays just like that, so people kind of trip out on it. I think the Rolls Royce, one of those cars, does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's similar to that. Another thing I did to this one is, aside from...
Oops, suicide doors.
Yep, suicide doors. So between cutting the doors up, and this is my driver here, so definitely not a show car, but I'll take it and show it anytime. Yeah, we like to have fun with these things. And
check this one out.
Yeah.
Mind if I sit in there?
Yeah, go for it.
Slide this over, man. I want to see what it feels like anyway.
I just finished putting power steering in it, and I put this tilt column. I'm literally in the middle of hooking up the turn signals, because my last column didn't have turn signals. So working on that now. That's why it's here. But I put power steering in it. I also put air conditioning in it. This one's got an air ride, but we're going to be pulling all that stuff out and putting lifts on this one too.
Putting lifts, huh?
Oh yeah. I make them ride real nice.
Is this the original dash?
It is the original dash. I took it all out.
Man, that's pretty trick.
It used to be silver, but it was kind of faded, and I felt like it would look better this way. And
what? This steering wheel though, brother.
Oh yeah, that's another steering wheel Chris creation there. He's got the molds for all these old wheels, and we decided to put real 24 karat gold leaf inside the resin, and casted that, and man, it turned out so cool.
That's awesome.
It definitely gets a lot of attention.
Right.
It's like that Goldschlager, is that the one that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it looks like a bottle of that stuff.
Y'all see in here real quick. Hope it's not too dark. I feel like I'm on the ground too. This is how I like them.
Yeah. This one just floats. It's a big heavy American car. It loves the remote.
Yeah, because what year? What model is this?
This is a 53 Lincoln Capri.
Okay.
So I wanted to chop the top, but I think I'm going to leave it alone. I've been talked out of it every time that I...
It kind of looks like it's already chopped.
It's got a good look to it. It's a hard top, so there's no post. So when the windows are down, it's like wide open. You know, I painted the roof myself a while back. I can paint. I'm not going to call myself a painter. I don't do it often. It takes a lot of patience to do all the graphics and, you know, but I had fun doing this one. I still could put another coat of clear on it and cut it down and make it super nice, but like I said, we just drive the shit out of these things. So this here, I kind of played around with some candy, some flake. All this here is all the soot from a acetylene torch. So basically sprayed the black soot that would come out of an acetylene torch without the oxygen, so it's not a clean flame. It's a real dirty flame, and it just allowed me to get all these like marks in here from the smoke and just paint right over it. It's a really cool old school effect, and wasn't sure if it was going to work out for me, but
man, that's a good job.
It came out cool. Thank you.
That's a good job. Y'all can see it. Wow, I love it, man.
Thanks, man.
I love
it. This one here. Stretch the skirts in the rear so it'd be a little extra low.
Yeah.
The skirts used to come up a little bit. And then in the back, I kind of left everything alone. I like these taillights. They're typically the taillights people would take off these cars to graft them onto other cars. For example, the most famous custom Mercury out there, the Hero Automerc, has these Lincoln lights, and it looks great. Well, I think they look great on my Lincoln too, so
yeah.
Wasn't trying to do much to the back, but a lot of these custom guys, they feel like they got to change everything. The headlight, if you do the headlights, you got to do the taillights.
Yeah.
But you know what? Nose, deck, shaved, and just, you know, it's like a speeding bullet. Looks like it's going fast.
Just sitting there,
laying there. Yeah, it's just a sled. So
love it.
But yeah, this is my baby, man. I'll drive this thing anywhere. Got my plaque in the window.
Yes, sir.
Fly my colors. This is another one of mine here. This is my 1935 Packard. I saw this one come up for sale on the internet, and once I saw the door handles the way they are, if you'll take a look, I quickly realized that all four doors are suicide. So to see a four-door car with suicide front doors, I said, I need to have that car.
I know that's right.
So I did everything in my power to...
It's like money to me.
Yeah, man, to end up with it, and I'm glad I did.
Wow.
Haven't had it too long, but this one's getting lifts. It's going to lay on the ground, and chances are it's going to end up with an LS in it.
What? You going to do that? Okay.
I'm thinking about it because no one would
drive it.
expect it.
Right.
But I would like to drive it to Vegas to go visit Mom. I'd like to drive it anywhere and everywhere, so I'd like to put power steering on it, disc brakes.
Modernize it, yeah.
Modernize it so I can literally drive it, which would make the Packard guys cringe. They're such purists that, God forbid, they know you put disc brakes on the front.
I know about that.
You know what I mean?
Just putting it on the ground is gonna piss them off.
Oh God, I can't wait to do that.
Hey, but that Photoshop you got on your page, yeah, that's awesome. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I had to, you know, render it one way or another and get the vision, you know. So that's
right. I'd be doing the same thing.
Oh man, it looks good with the skirt in the back. So this one's gonna get some skirts.
Okay.
I might do a sliding rag top. I've never been too big on that for these older cars, but I saw a guy that a friend of mine from up north. His name's Marco Rodriguez, and he's a badass dude, and he's building a 39 four-door Chevy, but he's doing all this crazy custom stuff. He purchased a front end off another friend of mine that basically dual side mounts on a 39 Chevy, which in 39 I think the only ones that came with it would have been the Woody and maybe the sedan delivery. So it was very rare to see duals on something like that.
Right.
But rumor has it that the guy that he got it from traded a complete driving 54 Chevy just for the front end.
What?
Yeah, like a nice car too. So he ended up with that front end, which is pretty much priceless, and eventually sold it to Marco. And Marco, he's building this 39 Chevy on lifts, and he suicided the front doors, which they didn't come that way. So now all 4 doors are suicided, and he laid it on the ground. And as soon as he cut the hole in the roof for the rag top, my first reaction is, what are you doing? And then it just took no time at all, and it grew on me, and I was like, my hero, that looks badass.
Because that's what it looks like anyway.
It looks like a rag top anyway.
Yeah,
exactly.
I always thought it was one.
It would look like a restored version of that anyway if it was on there, but it would be really
usable.
nice. Yeah, but then usable. So that's in the works for this one.
Wow. So you have to make skirts for this one, or?
Yeah, unfortunately for this one, I'm going to have to make some skirts, but lucky for me, I like playing with metal.
Right,
so,
right. You're just the guy for it, so.
Pretty much. But with the help of some friends, we'll make it happen. It takes a village. So I got a friend that could roll the lip. He's up north, the Munoz family. They've got a body shop up there, but they've got some really nice old convertibles.
Yeah.
With side mounts. They're all lifted. He's got one of these sedan deliveries lifted as well. He's got a Canopy Express that he just showed at the Grand National Roadster Show. That really, it was the first thing to ever cross that carpet on wire wheels for the spot he was going for. He was competing for it.
Okay.
He didn't win, but I mean, just being there was a big win. So had a crazy display, and anyway, they make all the original 36 skirts. They reproduce them. 39 skirts. I forget all the years exactly, but when I saw him make a set for one of these 35 Packards, I was like, I have to have a set. Became friends with him and his family, and it turns out after them showing me the ropes, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna try to make my own. So that's where I'm at, and they're like, we'll be happy to help you, you know, because they're like $5,000 for the pair. They're not cheap, you know. And I don't know if you've seen the prices of some of the 58 skirts and stuff like
you
that,
know,
like
I
the
have.
big cruiser skirts, right?
Yeah,
so,
you know I have.
You know, skirts can go up to like 15 grand.
Easy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But, you know, hand making them, it's a whole
another
different
level.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. So so that's this car, and what's cool about it is most of these were humpbacks, and I got lucky to find this one because I really like the slant back look of it.
I like this, brother.
Eventually, once I get it on the ground and do all my stuff, I'll body work it and repaint it real nice.
Yeah.
And I'll let you guess what that says.
Oh yeah.
Juke the DMV. They asked me, what does it mean? I said, she don't know me. And they're like, that's a good one. I'm like, you think? Like,
Wow.
I guess it is. It says shit on them.
I mean, it looks like them.
So it ain't shitting on them yet, but it will. I'm just trying to.
It is.
I'm practicing, you know.
It is.
So,
man, I can't wait to see that one on the
fake
ground.
it till you make it. But yeah, it's gonna look good on the ground.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to add that insert of that Photoshop on there. What's this?
So this right here, I just picked this one up from a good friend of mine, Terry Nails, who's a legend, and he's from the Dukes as well. And this is his car. I recently sold him a very rare 36 Chevy coupe, but it has a truck bed in the back, and it's known as a foreman's coupe or a coupe delivery. I think there's another name, technical name, like a salesman delivery or something like that. And anyway, so I delivered the car to Pahrump, and I ended up coming home with this. I wasn't expecting to do that, so I bought this one and brought it home. And I think I've already got a real good friend of mine who's going to take it off my hands. And but the cool thing about that is it's going to stay in the family, and it's going to stay being a Dukes car.
Okay.
So
yeah,
50 sedan delivery. It's on the ground right now. I've got it on true classic tall hub wheels, which
check these out.
those are a little rare. You can find the regular hubs. These are the tall hubs. Real nice paint, body. Got a visor on there. Got some skirts put away.
Love that color.
Also, that color's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like a plum black cherry or something.
Oh yeah, it's straight too. Yeah, they body worked the hell out of this one.
Yeah,
That
it came
full
out
view.
real nice. And this one's got air conditioning.
Oh, it's got the works.
Yeah, it's got the works. It's even fuel injected. So just got lucky to have found such a gem.
Right.
But
This
the
one
guy
open?
who owns it, man, what a great guy. I'll show you the interior here. And out where he is in Pahrump, there's not really anywhere you can drive this thing. It's just like a lot of dirt, so he never brought it out.
Mind if I get in there?
Absolutely, go ahead and get in.
That's what the doors. Got it. A little better. Oh wow, this steering wheel though.
I already took this thing to a car show at Felix Chevrolet, and it really got a lot of attention. There was a couple more there that I saw, some original ones that were real nice, but this thing, you know, being slammed to the ground.
Yes.
True spokes. It's got an air ride, so that's all its gauges.
Wow, that's what it's like, y'all. The visor. Love it. This is like fun to drive. Hey, I like the leveler right there.
Yeah, make sure to stay level.
Love it.
Feel like, you know, you could swallow a couple of those things in the morning to be as
Right, it gets
level-headed as possible.
get the day going.
Get the day going. All right, here we got a 49 Chevy. This is a customer car that we did some work to, and we actually ended up repainting this one for him. It's not what it came here for. The back wasn't notched, but it was already on air ride, so he brought it in to do that, and then just one thing after another. It was like a opening up a can of worms, fixing a few more things. Well, in order to do what we did to it, we had to adapt more things, being that it's fuel injected. It's got a supercharger. It's a stroker motor, so it's a 383 small block, but we had to move the gas tank and run new lines. So just one thing after another, and it snowballed into a whole new paint job.
Yeah, he's like, might as well,
Yeah.
since it's there.
Exactly. So
Can we see the motor on that one?
real good, dude. Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Little dusty. It just came out of the body shop. So it's got a Phaeton fuel injection. It's got, I think that's known as a street blower or something like that.
yeah.
So it's a smaller unit. 383 stroker. It's got a Mustang 2 suspension, air ride, power steering, and we actually have to work on this latch because whoever did this for him, the previous owner, didn't really do a good job of reinforcing all
Putting
this.
that mechanism in there, yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna build like a
Bends
reinforcement for it, and it's gonna make this a little bit easier to open. We're gonna detail under the hood a little bit, and he'll be good to go.
I like the
Doesn't need
positive
much
and negative ports coming out.
Oh
I
yeah,
like that.
I think that's
Nice
because
little
of the
touch.
shaved handles. He's able to give it
Right,
power
you gotta
and
get it back in there.
yeah.
Right.
So, which is smart.
Yeah, so they French these in.
Yep,
No more
the headlights are Frenched.
shade door handles.
The tail lights are Frenched. All the trim moldings are shaved.
See the back. Oh yeah. What's he doing for tail lights? Oh, I see.
They're there in the bumper guards. So
I
that's how he
see.
bought it. So one of these days he'll probably want to re-chrome everything and make it all nice. So
Right. He's
I'm sure
still
this
still
is,
mocking it up a little bit.
Yep. Yeah.
Sound like it
still
has
gonna make
already gone further than what he planned. So.
Oh yeah. I don't think he ever expected to take it here. And it was green and white before, but we changed it up a little bit. We put a little bit of ice pearl in the clear for the roof just
Actually,
to give it a little
yeah.
sparkle. You know,
See
you
the
don't want it to be too
sparkles.
crazy, but still wanted that effect. And that's a good way to do it with that ice pearl. So
That's
he's
nice.
got some kind of hubcaps for it or beauty rings, so we're gonna snap those back on.
Okay. Does he have skirts? You know, is he gonna run skirts?
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna run skirts on this one. I think it's
Okay.
more of like a peppy hot rod, you know.
Okay. It still looks good that way too.
And it's a fast car, so
I
I
bet.
don't think those skirts are
don't
built
need
for
it.
speed, you know.
Right.
He's gonna hold them down. So, and then
Alright.
aside from that, we've got a few other things in the works. You know, I've got this '56 Nomad. We're just storing it for a guy, but it used to be his daily driver in the '90s. It's been here for quite a few years. The guy lives in Hawaii, and I'm trying to work out a deal with him because obviously he doesn't seem to be doing anything with it. So
Right.
I feel like it'd be a lot better in my hands.
Hey, I feel like it would be a lot better in your hands too.
Be a lot lower in my hands.
Yeah.
So we're working on that. We'll see what happens.
Yes,
That's one of the potential future projects, and this is definitely something that's.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was told it came from the Pike in Long Beach. I know it belonged to Chip Foose before it belonged to me, and I'm gonna turn this. I'm gonna restore it,
Uh-huh.
but I'd like to turn this into like an electric go-kart, so that way I can drive it around at the car shows. And the reason why I do it electric over a motor, an engine, is because I could actually hide the electrical part and not get in trouble with. They'd actually let me drive it at the beach, wherever, as long as it's not making any noise. And,
Right.
you know,
Right.
No emissions.
Smart thinking.
So I just figured as long as I can get a couple hours of cruise time out of it, it'll be a lot of fun.
Man, the nostalgia of that. You
Someday.
you don't know what year though, huh?
It's got to be from the 40s.
40s?
I think it'd be cool. My kids would probably enjoy it, cruising it around the car shows. And
Even
the
just
beach,
post,
so-
just put on the wall. Yeah, either way is
For-
good.
you know what? For now, that's what might have to happen. We'll see. And then a little graveyard of stuff that'll eventually get used. If I ever get my hands on a S10 chassis, I usually cut the front end off and I'll end up saving this for an older car that needs a more modern suspension, and then it's a lot easier to put lifts on one of these front suspensions than it would be to do it on a car that's got leaf springs in the front with a solid axle. So we would swap something like this. Yeah, and then you'd have independent front suspension, disc brakes, power steering. So this is a major upgrade. As a matter of fact, I've done this to several of my cars that are in there, including my little truck. I don't know if you saw that little blue truck.
Oh yeah, matter of fact, yeah, we need to go cover that too. Yeah, because that suspension in that bad boy is tough.
Yeah. So that was I wouldn't call it a daily driver. I mean, I kind of drive them all, but I definitely rack up more miles on that one. I recently took a complete stock truck. I put an S10 frame clip on the front. I built the whole back part of the frame, and I put power steering in it, a 235 engine, modernized some of that stuff as well, and now I just drive it. Not really itching or anxious to get a paint job on it anytime soon, because
doesn't need one. It's perfect
as of right now. I'm not worried about door dings.
Right. That's all I'll be trying to tell them. I got a little patina joint I'm playing with too. They don't get it. I don't have to worry about a paint job.
So nice little truck. I just make sure the interior's, you know, decent enough to feel comfortable driving.
These shifters, boy, I love them.
Yeah, I like those things too.
I love them.
So just definitely not raggedy on the inside. The outside's a different story.
Right.
So I'm in the middle of working on it. I'm gonna eventually put a wooden floor so I can carry things in here, and I'm gonna hinge the middle of it so the back will actually open and close, but the front half of it'll stay closed, and that way no one can see what's back here, especially cops.
Right.
And that way I can carry stuff. I mean, I built a little compartment so I can use it as like a trunk. It's a 3 battery 36 volt system, and what you're looking at back here, this coil spring that goes from left to right behind the axle is actually like an accumulator that I made out of a hydraulic cylinder. So the front cylinders here have no coils, and they're basically daisy chained into this cylinder, and I'll show you how it works.
Okay.
So instead of so that would be my rear suspension. It all accumulates into that one cylinder. I get plenty of lift out of it.
To the side. Go ahead.
So a good amount of lift.
Very nice amount of lift.
Got these old, I don't know if they're Marilyn Monroe or Jane Mansfield. I think there's, you know, people say that they're either or, but I actually fixed these caps to never move. So they stay still. We just call them floating caps. It's an old trick, but nobody really knows how to do it. Well, I guess I can kind of push the truck.
Yo, it's not moving as he's.
Yeah, so
that's
they
crazy.
just kind of stay still, which is really trippy.
Oh, I love that drop. And what year is this?
This one's a 41. So right before the war. This is the last year that they actually made these things with chrome grills. In 42, there was a lot of blackout stuff. So if you had a fleet line from 1942, everything would be blacked out or gray.
Cheaper to make.
Yeah, because they needed all the metal, and you know, they couldn't really do chrome. They used all that stuff in 43, 44, and 45. Even pennies weren't copper anymore. They made them out of steel because they needed the copper for like ammunition and stuff like that. So they were serious about that war.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of rare accessories for like 42 stuff. Like the fog lights are worth a fortune if you can find 42 fog lights for, which I actually have a pair. They're very similar to the 41 fog lights. Those are worth a lot of money too. So the thing about these old bombs is accessories are expensive.
Yeah, oh, I know.
And they're like a drug. You get addicted to them. If you got a good job, oh man, it's over for you. You know, I got quite a few things, but definitely have a lot of cars. That's my biggest problem. But things like this would be a passing lamp. You know, people like to have these. It's always on the driver's side. Yeah. The big ballers will put them on both sides, so it's a big flex.
Yeah, it's a big flex. I love it.
I just don't like to do too much because some of these guys have these things looking like fire trucks. And
yeah,
they even have sirens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How do you feel about the sirens? You like sirens? I'm
okay with them. I've never owned one until I bought that sedan delivery from Mike's old lady, and it's got a siren in there. So I'm actually gonna do a little thing on my channel where I'm gonna demonstrate how I hook up the cop lights, and I'll probably do it to that car. So when I hit the siren, I can move some traffic. Get out of my way. You know what I mean? Put the Ludacris on the loudspeaker. And,
yeah, get out the way.
yeah, that's it. So,
I love it, man. Shoot, that's what I was trying to tell y'all, man. Leave that patina. You don't gotta worry about a paint shop no more.
Paint clear coat here.
Yeah. Man.
We'll let the earth take it back one day at a time.
Yo, this skirt is on the ground. It's on the ground. So when I looked at pictures, is that the original back bumper for this, or you just put that on?
That is I believe it to be the original back bumper.
Really? Okay, so curved like that.
Yeah, it's curved like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And those are the actual. If you ever seen those plates on another car, they're fake.
These are the real ones.
Yeah, that's the real one. So that's those are registered to this truck. But I've seen other people. I'll get tagged on like Instagram and be on the front of Monte Carlo or something. I'm like, they're not rob a bank or doing
right. Like, that's my plate, fool.
I'm trying to be wanted for something I didn't do.
Right. Like as you can see, I got an old truck.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, this thing is bad, y'all.
Thanks, man.
That's my favorite part right here. Look at that.
Yeah,
Look at that. Oh man. Call me from the old school, man. I love my stuff low. Put it on the ground. Everything looks good low. To me.
Being such an old truck, it's a good little truck. I almost maiden voyage drove this thing up north to just about San Jose, and for having an inline 6 engine, which is an original from the 50s. Whew, it's a miracle I made it there and back.
Really?
But it did real good. I mean, they used to drive them across the country back in the day. I'm sure it took like, 4 to 5 business weeks
4
to
days.
get there. Like, weeks probably.
Right.
Different story back in the 30s, 40s, but they would do it.
6 bolts. Oh man, that'd have been horrible. That'd have been horrible.
Yeah. Trying to find a station.
Yeah. AM only.
Yeah, they have no USB music or no, you know what I mean?
You wanna roll the window back up?
What's that?
You wanna
No,
roll
it's
that?
good. It's good.
Okay. All right.
Nobody messed with my stuff around here.
Yeah, I love it. Love it.
We haven't gone around and pimping out the forklift just yet. But that's on the list. Got a couple of dents to pull out.
Just leave it like that. Just put it in the ground and it'll be good.
Patina, right?
Right. It's patina already. I love it. This is bad too, man. I love it.
Yeah. So this is one that I've had probably the longest, along with that 53 truck in there, and they're both 53. And just by coincidence.
Oh, we kind of skipped over that one.
Oh yeah. So that's the car I was talking about being Jack Rudy's car. So Jack bought this Fleet Line off of me when I was in Santa Maria. He hunted me down and said I have to have it. So I ended up selling it to him. And unfortunately, it just kind of lives outside. He passed away, so it's going to end up going to his wife here pretty soon.
Okay.
Oh
man, that's a big brother.
But when he was around, just little by little, he'd have me work on it. We started with the interior, and we put a T5 transmission in it. And that's about as far as we got. It's got hydraulic lifts, but it just needs someone to love it again. So I think,
man,
the next person, I don't know if she'll keep it forever or.
It's sit perfect like that. Like it really.
It looks
I would
great.
leave it like that. Yeah.
And this is an old Lowrider from back in the day. That's actually a custom paint job. That was a two-tone.
Right.
And it was, it's probably had heated coil since day one. It was however they used to do it back in the day. I mean, I remember the days of putting concrete in sandbags in the trunk of a car. You know what I mean?
Just to get it to sit low.
Just to get it to sit low, yeah. It affect your gas mileage.
Right, because you got literally weight in the back.
Yeah, exactly. But do what you got to do, man. You got to look good on the strip. So
love it. All right, well shoot, man. Let's interview you up. All right, here we go, y'all. Here we go. All right, Christian, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
First off, man, I guess if you want to tell them how to get in contact with you if they want to get some work done.
Well, if they want to get some work done, they can email me. That's probably going to be the best way to get at me, which is going to be cruzwellmfg@gmail.com. You can look me up on Instagram, Cruzwell_MFG, or my personal page, which is 0fucks, believe it or not.
And I'll put them all at the bottom for y'all.
Perfect.
So let me ask you, basically how this works is I'm just doing this as a podcast. I'm not going to sit here and just drill you in a bunch of stuff. We're just conversating and recording at the same time. So you can ask me questions and so forth too. Right. In doing this, based on what I've seen today, were you good at math in high school?
You know, when I was in high school, it was before they invented ADD. And so I kind of don't know what I was good at, but it surfaced later because I became really good at it.
Yeah.
So I want to say it stemmed from there, but my attention wasn't.
It wasn't there then.
It wasn't on school.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing. I'm grateful that I took a class just because I needed the credits. It was called mechanical drawing, and it was basically handwritten blueprints.
Yeah.
Until this day, I still use that.
So is that basically like the blueprints you were showing me?
No, those are like some bar napkin blueprints, but the mechanical drawing kind of takes place on the computer.
Right.
It's a similar format, but on the computer, but it allows me to understand and comprehend everything so that I can basically engineer some of these kits and parts. Without that, it would be a lot more difficult. It's difficult enough as it is, but with that, it makes it easier. It makes sense.
Yeah, because I look at it, I was like, dude, when did you when did this grasp to you? Like,
so I mean, yeah, it's literally like a graph, and you start off with two-dimensional parts, and you really got to be able to envision stuff. And I think with experience, you're able to move a little faster, not make so many mistakes.
Right.
So I want to say, for me to have been able to get to a point where I'm able to create products that a heavy car can rely on these products
really
to
heavy.
fly down the freeway at 100 and not mess up. You know what I mean? There's a lot on the line, including your life. So you really got to know how to structure things. And I think over time, after making mistakes and sometimes learning the hard way, you know, you really sharpen your skills for doing it. And now it's pretty natural. But I think the trick to a lot of it is to be able to think 2 or 3 steps ahead of the game, knowing damn well what could happen. So let's prevent
you got
it,
to.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of that. And then a lot of it's geometry. A lot of the stuff I deal with is suspension, steering geometry, and then obviously like upgrades, steering, brakes, and stuff like that. So it's all an equation, and you just got to be good at, you got to speak the language. So
you definitely
it takes a little bit, but you can get there. You just got to be interested. So I'm definitely interested.
So let me ask you this then: when you were in high school, did you see this? did you see this in your future?
Okay, I got to say that it all started with bicycles. Being young, you're a kid on a bike, and when these lowrider bikes started to evolve, I mean, that was something crazy.
Yeah.
For me, it was anything on wheels, and eventually it was anything with wheels and a motor, or an engine, whatever. And but that's how it started. And I think by the time I got to high school, I mean, I was 13 years old. I'll be honest with you, I think what really changed my mind, I was at the perfect age transitioning from things that you ride or skate to things that you get in and drive.
Exactly.
I was at that perfect age where Dr. Dre dropped The Chronic, and remember all the music videos?
Trust me, I remember running home to go see him. Yeah, I remember. Man,
that changed everything for me. I'm like, I know exactly what I want to be doing when I'm older, and that's cruising for one. But I'm just watching these guys just straight face like it ain't no big deal back in these Impalas.
Right,
like,
big boats, right? Yeah.
Like it's nothing, but it's such a big deal to us.
Right.
We're just like, so.
Mind blown.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing those cars driving down the street, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then from there, I got my license, started paying attention to everything, and I didn't grow up with money. I didn't have, like my family wasn't rich, nothing like that. I started off with a bug.
Small. I did too. I did. I was actually going to ask you.
I almost think that's like the training wheels for driving, is to start off with something that,
really
to your parents, if they have to help you, at least it's like, It's like
whatever.
a disposable car.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
At that
Whatever
time, it was
happens
cheap. I
to
think
it-
it's expensive now,
Yeah,
though.
exactly. My first car was $300.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to drive a stick. I had to figure it out on the way home. They were like, you know how to drive a stick? I'm all,
I figured out, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Man, you can't buy them like you can't find them like that no more. $500. Remember those days?
Oh,
$500
man.
you can get a whole car.
The cheapest car I remember was, it was a VW Bug. It was a '67, and it was an older lady.
Wow.
And I drove the car home. She said you can have it for $100. And then when she gave me
Those
the
days are
pin,
gone.
she started doing the those days are
Those days are gone.
she started doing the math on what the tax was going to cost me to register it in my name. And I think it was like $6 or $7 there, or less.
Yeah.
And she gave it back to me, so I paid $90-something for this car and drove it home. And so that was the cheapest car I think I've ever bought. You know, I've been gifted a couple of cars here and
Yeah,
there,
wow.
but they were nothing to write home about. That Bug was cool though.
What was the first car I guess started getting you notoriety in the game?
Well, at a young age, I started customizing them because right off the bat, I'm like watching other cars that are. I would pay attention to the things that were different than other cars, and I'd try to, like reverse engineer what's going on, and I'm like, man, that is really cool how they shaved the handles,
Right.
or did this or did that. So it took a while. I had a little pickup truck that I bought off my dad. I was probably maybe like 18 years old, and I bought a little truck off my dad, and that was good practice for shaving everything and just doing all these modifications, put an air ride on that. And so it was kind of like a learning lesson to learn how to
Work these cars, maneuver 'em.
lose and ruin my dad's tools,
Oh, yeah.
for starters. But after that, I started doing stuff. I had an old Chevy Caprice, and I fixed that up. And that one was on air ride, but it would hop off the ground. It was.
Ooh. Had a helium tank on it or what?
I had 2 scuba tanks in the trunk.
Yeah,
that would
yeah.
spin into some other air tanks, and it had some really big airlines. And it would bunny hop off the ground. Or I mean, it was funny to see a mini truck pull up to me at a light or something and waste all his air,
Hey, but some mini truckers knew they had a helium tank in the back.
Yeah. And then I'm just like, hold on a second. Light turned green, just gas hop the thing across the intersection doing a wheelie, and I'm like, this is close to where I want to be. When I discovered lifts, I'm like, this is it. This is the hydraulic lifts. But everyone's got a different story. Everyone starts somewhere. I evolved to that.
Yeah.
And everything, I've always been like if it has moving parts, skateboards, bicycles, RC cars, I'd get so interested in it and reverse engineer things and rip things apart.
Yeah.
I'd rip my parents' VCRs apart at a really young age. There was always some extra.
Had to figure out how it worked, huh?
I had to figure out always a few extra screws, whatever, when I'm done. But got myself in a lot of trouble. But it kind of paid off. I got to an age where I was able to see, like, my dad's been gone for about going on 12, 13 years, and my mom's still around. So it's kind of nice to get to an age to where she's legit proud of me, and I'm able to see that from her. I'm like, this is a moment here where she's like, all right, you're doing something with your life. I didn't go to college. I didn't, all this was just from like, but everyone's got their busting my ass story.
Right.
I worked hard for this. Well, same story, but people don't hear the part of the story, like the hard part, the part.
Oh, they never do.
There was no money. For a long time, things weren't working out for you, or you lost it all, or whatever. Everyone's got a different status wherever they feel like they made it. This is where I'm at. I feel like every time I milestone to a different step on the ladder, I still feel like I'm real low on the ladder, but it feels nice to be recognized for some of the things that I do. I do things different.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have really fancy painted, chromed, we drive the shit out of these things. So we just make sure that they'll make it to whatever car shows we're trying to go to, whether it's
the real drivers
up north in California or we'll go to Santa Maria, Ventura, San Diego. So we'll go wherever, and then some of us will cross state lines and go real far. Partner of mine here at the shop, he just drove his 41 Buick to Florida from here and back. And that's a pretty car.
That's a big, that's a big achievement.
That's a big achievement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we all strive to really hit the road, and it's nothing like a big open road to clear your mind and something that you built.
Right.
It's a lot different than putting something on the trailer. No disrespect for the trailer people, and I'll explain
Yeah.
Because I do get that. You know what I mean? But to be able to drive something that your hands have been on from start to finish anywhere is a huge thing. As for the trailer guys,
here it comes.
Some people don't get it. I get it. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those people that the difference between air ride and hydraulics.
I was gonna ask you that, but go ahead.
My dad always used to say there's a seat for every ass.
It is.
And it took me a minute to figure that out, and I'm like, yeah,
it is.
There is. So, but when it comes to a point in your life where you have something that what do they say? No rock unturned, no stone unturned.
I know what you're saying.
Every base, chromed everything. I could see why you're not going to drive that thing everywhere. And chances are, most likely, you do have a few drivers. You know what I mean?
You do. Right. That's not your own car in most cases.
So it's okay to have that.
Right.
If you get to the level where you've got a car spinning on a rotisserie, that's a whole different sport.
That's a whole nother sport.
You know what I mean? You're on a different level.
Every nut and bolt.
That's cool. You know what I mean? There's a lot of pride in that. And I can see why you wouldn't want to mess up anything. I mean, you've seen these guys pull the wheels off, and they got fully engraved calipers and
everything.
Rotors,
Yes.
Chromed. I mean, you almost would think
engraved brake lines and stuff.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't want to drive that on the road.
I don't see that happening. So we get them to a point where if something was to happen, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they still look great, and
But see, and that's why I want to showcase stuff like this, because a lot of people think that it has to be complete show. Some people, they don't even want to pull their cars out in primer anymore. It's like, I don't want to pull it out until it's done. But it's a blessing to be able to be at this point to where you're able to just pull out a car at any point, especially when it's customized and tricked out. And now you get to see it in stages and so forth. My girl, she actually says to me every now and then, because she's from the Bay, she's just getting into the car world with me. And she was like, I would think it would be an honor to be able to pull up on a trailer. You know what I mean? So different people look at things differently. And I see what she's saying. It's like, you got a point there. To pull up on a trailer, that's kind of boss. You know what I mean? Like,
you're on a different level. You know what I mean? I think the people that have the most to say about that are the people that aren't at that level.
You notice that?
It's because they can't be at that level.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like if I heard it in a song. They say they don't fuck with me, but I say they can't fuck with me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we're talking about two different people.
Right.
You know, to have someone that hates on you, and you're like, I had to look them up. I had no idea who the hell's hating on me and for what reason. Chances are they can't do what you can, and they wish they could.
They wish they could be in your shoes.
So they have a lot to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But they probably won't say it to your face.
No, they won't.
So
you can tell if you just pay attention, which sucks because you could really be there too if you don't hate on that person and you just grow yourself and stay focused on what you like in life.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people, they don't really get into that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
it is what it is.
At the end of the day, this is about cars, about having fun. I happen to be in the business of working on cars, so I got to feed myself.
Right.
I'm happy to be here. This is I've always been a creative person. I guess I can call myself an artist in a way.
Indeed.
But this is like a art studio for me, and I've got an untreated case of ADHD where
you keep saying that.
I come here because it's true, and I come here. I'm able to close my door, and I'll bounce off these four walls. But at the end of the day, I got so much done. Not in the order that my list.
It's never in order.
Started off.
Yeah, it's never in order.
But it gets done, and I'm able to. So when I say I'm able to feed myself, I mean in that way too, and it feeds my creativity. Just a little bit of everything. So.
Got you.
Yeah. So this started off as a place for myself to work on my own stuff, and in order to have a place like this, I've got to work on other people's stuff too, to pay the bills. So,
right.
For a long time there, it wasn't fun for me to do that. When I discovered that I'm able to make one-off stuff, and then it started turning into a lot of fun to bring these customer cars in, because I'm able to do something different to every car. And,
right, got you.
Which is what they're expecting from me, it seems. It's always like when it gets dropped off, whatever you want to do, I like your style. And
yeah.
I think that's when it started for me, where I'm like, all right, cool. These guys, like, when they say I like your style, it's because it's out there and they're seeing it. So that's a good feeling. So.
Okay. Shoot, I was actually going to say something. Is there a car that you built and sold that you wish you never sold it? Like, you know what? I kind of want that car back now.
I've got a lot of cars. It's because I don't like selling them. I just save back up and get another project and put it together, and then the next thing you know, you just end up with a lot of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, me myself, I get to. She's pointing to me. I'll get rid of a car because I don't like to let it sit outside. If I can't garage it and store it, I'll get rid of it. But then I'll get rid of it. And I'm like, man, I wish I kind of would have just held on to that one a little bit longer.
Let me tell you, man, it's not fun, but it's fun at the same time. It's not fun to have to pay so much rent on a place just to get your fix for your hobby. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is not a cheap hobby. So
It's not, and I'm actually glad you said that.
yeah, it's not for the weak.
It's
man.
not for the weak at all.
It's a huge commitment.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of weekend warriors that they can shut it off. You know, that primarily is everything else. But you know what? Family is most important. You know, you have to think about that kind of stuff. So if you have enough time in your life, which a lot of people have a lot of time, like myself, I do have time for cars. My kids are older, and so I'm very committed, and I can't wait to see where this takes me.
Hey, it's gonna take you far, brother. I'm telling you. You got nice stuff around here. Definitely kudos, congratulations on everything
Thank
you've
you,
done. Even though it started off as your own personal stuff, it grew into this. I mean, you can't be mad at that.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's really an addiction. I mean, I see something I gotta have. We find as guys, we find a way to make it happen. And for people like myself, it's usually if I have to sell something to make something else happen, I make it happen. If I don't have to, I keep piling them on. But I'm like that fish in the fishbowl that's already outgrown his space. And,
Right.
And we're looking for an aquarium now. we need more space. I'm not really trying to sell anything.
I hope you can just knock a wall down and go next door.
Man. Well, you know what? We talked about doing that. As a matter of fact, got a whole nother room over here. So we were talking about actually taking down part of the wall back there and expanding another.
That'd be perfect.
1,500 more square feet.
Right.
It would mostly be to really organize some of the metal equipment and tooling to make stuff happen, but to have like a nice organized space for that. So that way there's not so much going on in here. It could just be more like a showcase when you walk in.
There's all the stuff up on the walls and stuff. I hate if you have to take that down and move it.
Man, moving is no fun. And
It's not. I wouldn't want to do that.
I don't like asking for help. I'm one of those guys.
You do it all yourself?
Me and the forklift out there, you know. We make shit happen. I remember taking a cool photo of me and the forklift dropping and locking it down for a photo. That's the team right there. But look,
me and my team.
Yeah, me and my team. But luckily, I found some good help. I've got a couple of friends that help me out here now, and that's a big thing. It's just hard to find people that'll commit with you because not everything in here is theirs. So it's I'm sure for people they can't wait to leave, go home, but try to keep it being a fun atmosphere.
Right.
And try to only have people that are hooked on cars.
Right. I love it. They understand it. They get it.
At the end of the day, there's
like-minded people.
Like-minded people. That's exactly what it is.
So let's go a little bit to the left. Do you have kids?
I do have
How's
kids.
family life?
I've got a 21-year-old son. He's a Marine.
Oh, okay.
And as a matter of fact, the coolest thing in the world just happened to me a couple of days ago. He got deployed to Okinawa, Japan. So he's been out there, and I tried calling him about a week ago. And no answer. And the machine said, sorry, but the country you're trying to call is not accepting for whatever reason. So I ended up texting him after a couple call attempts. And he ended up calling me a couple days later. Hey, sorry, Dad, I was busy. Work's been crazy. And I'm like, oh, yeah, no problem. No big deal. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, just at the shop working, whatever, this and that. So we finished our conversation and hung up, and I'm back here working, and the next thing you know, I hear my office door open, and I've got the shop roll-up door closed so I can get some stuff done because I get a lot of people stopping by, and it's just I have a problem with focusing, so I'm either hyper-focused or not at all. It's one or the other. So I'm either squirreling or I'm not. So I got to force.
Keep the door closed, then.
I got to force the attention thing, and I see somebody walk into the shop, and I'm looking over, and it's my son. And I'm like...
Surprised you.
You see that kind of shit on TV. It hits different when it happens to you.
Right, extremely does.
And I'm a real proud dad. I've also got a 14-year-old daughter, and she's a little more sassy. I'm a little more worried about her.
Whew, those girls are a trip, right?
Yeah, mostly because I'm a dad that, that's worried.
Girls are a trip.
Yeah. So, but she's doing all right. She's the smartest thing in the world. I mean, I have her teach me how to do some of these technologically advanced things that I can't figure out, like how to use my phone sometimes. So, but the kids are growing up real smart. A lot of people frown upon them being on their phones a lot.
Yeah.
I'm conflicted about it because if they're not going to stay up with the times when it's time to work. I feel like
their time is on the phones now. Yeah,
so
it's their generation.
It's a different generation.
It's a different generation.
It's just it is what it is. And but she's super intelligent. That's the part that I'm afraid of, is almost too smart for her own good. But I'm sure it'll benefit her in the future. I think she's going to be a little hustler. So. Not so much into the stuff I'm into, but I want to see that it's coming. You know, I start more and more over the years. There's they're taking an interest to it. But
really, okay.
As for myself, my dad wasn't into cars like I was into it. I just kind of fell into it. I just completely in love with cars. But I mean, since I was a kid, everything was cars. Yeah. My sheets, my wallpaper, if everything, I could help posters, their decision. Oh yeah, yeah.
Hot Wheels, all that.
Yeah, it started with car posters, and by the time I was 16, it was like girls in car posters.
Yeah, I think we was all there.
Yeah. Exactly. So,
any cars that I guess you're itching to, like one day you got to get this particular car? Any of those in a lineup that you seen for the future? The Packard's pretty dope. I was
gonna say, a lot of people ask me, like, or I'll get asked, "What's your dream car?"
Yeah.
And I never know what it is until, like, as I gain more interest for some of these older 30s and 40s cars, I start to see something that I really want and would really love to have. Never really been like I want a Lambo or Ferrari kind of guy. But when that Packard popped up, I'm like, that's kind of my dream car. Like, it turned into it. I didn't know. It's one of those things that I didn't know I wanted until it came up and I had to have it. And so then I'm able to envision what I want to do with it.
Right.
Put hydraulic lifts on it.
Yeah.
It's going to lay on the ground. It's the only year that they had all 4-door suicide doors on the Packards. So that, and then the Chevys did it in 35 as well. Ford had it in 34. And there was other makes and models that they were all like pretty much all 35. Pontiac, this car here, if it was a 35, it would have had suicide doors as a 2-door car. So several of my cars have suicide doors. I like them and I don't like them, but I can't get away from them. They're not easy to get into much. They're not practical, but they sure are cool.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Man, that's a question that was on the tip of my tongue I was going to ask. I hate that. Damn, I was going to ask. I got to remember that question now. Oh, well, we're going to the next. Yeah, it definitely popped. But damn, it was on the tip of my tongue. I was like, I got to ask that one. Oh, that's what it was. What other, is there, I guess if you want to tell the people, what is, I guess, hidden about you that you do, that you like, or that you're into that nobody really knows? Like, are you into art? You sing? Like, is there anything else about you that nobody knows outside of the car world?
Man. I think I'm so ingrained into this car thing. I think that's a hidden talent that's been exposed. Yeah. I don't know if there's any other hidden talents that to brag about. Any ones that I could see on here anyway.
Love it. Now something I did see, because you had it on your page, you were drawing like one of these signs. So are you good at pinstriping, drawing? Like, where did that come about?
I want to say that if I'm interested in something, I've always been able to get good at it pretty quick. But I'm one of those people that just won't sleep at night.
You're not the only one.
Obsess.
Yeah.
Until I get the result I'm looking for.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
And I'll give up fast if I know it ain't for me.
Yeah.
But I love original lettered signs.
Yeah.
Sign painting from back in the day. I geek out over that and old neon.
Yeah, trust me, we know.
Yeah. So I love that stuff, and I can't really afford it as much as I wish I could because there's so much cool stuff out there. So I just I settle for visiting museums. If like I went to the Neon Museum in Vegas, and that was really cool. You get to see the things that I took my mom, and it was a hell of an experience. But I would say that painting. My mom was an artist. I've got good like hand-to-eye coordination, and it's like a weird like fill a void type of a thing. It like it's like an outlet. If you got something going on, it's a way where you're able to focus your eyes and your energy and your mind on something and kill time. So for me, if something bad's going on in your life, you know, try like an outlet of some sort that's artistic, and time goes by and you're just consuming yourself with it. And for myself, I've always been pretty good at it. So the couple signs that I've painted, I even did that bear sign there was one of the first ones. Yeah. I did the circus clown one in my office. And then the Chevrolet sign it's an old sign from 1940, and I duplicated it. Wow. And I plan on making many more. I'm just very limited on time, but I enjoy being able to do that. So I'm not one to really sit still. So I don't really leave my shop to go home and relax. After I go home, take a shower, I feel like getting myself into something, not really trying to go out, you know? I'll do a little YouTubing and stuff. I've just gotten into that. And YouTube University, man. You really learn. You can really learn a lot, but you got to know how to navigate. You know what I mean? So
certified.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to know how to navigate through there before you graduate.
It's another world.
You know
It's another whole world. A lot of people don't understand. It's another whole world.
But it's great though. I mean, like if you really go on there to learn something, and you know, I'm planning on starting a channel, and since I make a lot of products, I plan on explaining how to install them, how they work, why you would benefit from them. So I've got a lot to say, and I can't wait to get it out of my system. And that's a whole nother thing. Is like, it's kind of like when you get something off your chest, you feel better.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
and
for sure.
so I got to the point, you know, when I was, younger doing this, I didn't want to reveal my secrets because I would do all these cool, clever things. And people are like, how'd you do that? And I'm like, oh, it's easy. You have to just figure it out, you know? And because I'm not going to tell them, you know, but I'm getting to a point now where like my hard drive's pretty full. I wouldn't mind unloading some of it, especially if it's going to help me out.
Help somebody else
keep
out.
Us busy, you know, keep jobs around the shop here. That just means we're going to be making more parts and selling more stuff, especially if people have a good demonstration.
You looked at it differently.
You know what I mean? So it was kind of a perspective thing. It's not going to hinder me from making money. As it is, I've got a hell of a waiting list, thank God. And I think it's just going to help create more jobs in here. So I just see it as a
positive.
Yeah, absolutely. And it feels good at my age, having kids the ages that they are, to think that I can teach them young. And I love seeing these young kids. I remember being super young and seeing a cool car drive by, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, all out the window, hey! Right.
And, you know, and it was so cool when they'd be like, what's up? It meant the world to me. Yeah. When they recognized the, you know.
Yeah, it still is. Still is, especially when we're out now.
Absolutely. So when I see kids that are just like thumbs up and this and that, you know, I'll drag the shit out of my car. I'll ruin my car for them.
Right, because they get it. It's the youth that always gets it. It's like,
Cruzwell
you know
is
what I
for
mean?
the children.
Got that? So let me ask you this. So if you can go back in time and talk to a younger self, what words of encouragement or what would you tell yourself that you need to do to get to where you are here now faster?
I would have probably bought a house at like 1 or 2. Be almost paid off by now.
Right. $10,000 for a whole home. You know what I mean? But yeah, in California. No, go ahead.
Well, you know, I was born at a very young age, and no. I think I would have encouraged myself to not give up on anything. I think what I see a lot of people do is they kind of surrender to things and they give up and white flag, and you get to a certain point where it finally just works and things click and things become like they happen more natural. You know, I think a lot of people, certain things are not for everybody. So when it comes to getting your hands dirty, I would say it's not for everybody, but a lot of people try. And my whole thing is to encourage them to keep pushing and, you know, making products. It makes me feel good to be able to do that because, you know, in some people's world, R&D stands for rip off and duplicate. You know what I mean? But to be able to make things better, I mean, you're not rewriting the book.
Right.
cars have four wheels. They have moving parts. They go up and down. There's only so much you can do.
Just adding to it.
But you can add to the book.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm doing my part to do that. You know, and I'm, like I said, I'm just here to feed myself and have a good time. I'm not here for any of the politics or anything like that.
Me either, brother.
You know, and so
I just want to hook up cars. I don't.
It's all about cars and having fun.
Yeah, I don't care
You know,
about the
I
rest.
mean, you got all these car clubs out there. A lot of people have a lot to say, and
Yeah.
I'm glad I landed on a pretty rad car club. I'm from the Dukes, and you know, it's crazy because we're all over the globe, but especially all over the country,
Right.
and we all come together and fly here, there, whatever, to get
Nice.
together, and we're like a family. We're like bestest of friends when we link up to go to shows or whatever. They'll, you know, people will fly out here, jump in our cars, and we'll fly out, you know, drive 4 or 5 hours to get somewhere with our friends from. It could be anywhere from from Atlanta, Texas, Georgia. What did I say? Atlanta, Atlanta, Georgia, Florida. So you know, we've got several chapters across the country, and so we have our friends come out here frequently. And we'll take them to the shows. I've got a couple of friends out in Florida that will drive. They'll tow a couple of cars out here from Florida just to spend a weekend at a show out here and then drive right back.
Oh yeah, because
So
you gotta realize, people in other states and stuff, they see what we do and they're like, man, I just want to get the experience of feeling that.
The level of commitment there is unreal.
Yeah.
And there's so much talent. And in my club, it seems that about 90% of the club, they're all artists. So everyone has that mutual, like similar interests and mutual respect for each other for what they do, and everybody's good at it. So it's like we all share that. And so, you know, it's nice to come from something that everyone's got a similar interest. First and foremost, cars, as opposed to politics, and we all got cars, not a t-shirt club.
Hey, I like that. I like you threw that in there. How long you been in Dukes?
I've been in the Duke since 2020,
Okay.
and I want to say I found my home in regards to a club. Like all my friends are from there, and it happened at a good time in my life. It was like it kind of brought me up from where I was, and I was like, you know what, I needed this, and then it turned into, you know, now it's just like, you know, another day in the Dukes, another day in paradise. But before it was something I didn't know I needed.
Right.
I needed to get out. Like I was just kind of like trapped between these four walls.
Like a homebody
on my own.
sometimes.
Yeah,
I feel like that
big
sometimes
time,
too.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it felt good to meet a lot of new good people, and then be in the same place with a lot of my homies that
Got you.
have already been in the club for 10 plus years, some of them.
Let me ask you this. A lot of people ask, do you like car shows, cruises, or just hanging out with some friends? Which one is you?
I like working on cars.
Working on them, okay.
So when people used to go to shows, instead of going, I felt like I would just become discouraged by going, because I knew I was going to see things that I couldn't afford and I wish I had and this and that. So my mentality was a little different. So I'd stay back and do all sorts of cool shit to my car.
Yeah.
But then little by little, I started getting out to cruise nights. Here, being in this harbor area, South Bay area of Southern California, there's a lot of cool car cruising stuff. We're here at the port of LA.
Yeah.
And so everyone around here has these old bombs, and it's pretty neat. And so there'll be cruise nights in San Pedro, Wilmington, and we'll hit those. But since I've become a Duke, I've had nothing but fun bringing these cars to shows, and a lot of inspiration from fellow members. And we're just out here doing the damn thing, man. Like
you are.
We try to we'll have some mandatory shows where our mother chapter president will say, you got to be at this
show.
Indoor show. It might be a super show or a bomb show. It could be in Orange County. It could be wherever. And so if we feel compelled to make it to those shows, we've got a lot to prove to ourselves first and foremost, and the fact that to our club brothers, because we're in this for a reason. So when the opportunity for us to show what we're in this club for happens, we need to show out. So we show up, show out, and we'll have sometimes 60, sometimes 80 cars inside of a, like an indoor show. And that's huge for us. That's kind of what we do it for.
What's the biggest show that you guys normally hit? Like the Pomona, I can't think of the proper name for it. Where it's got all the different buildings.
Oh, that's the Grand National Roadster show?
Yeah. You think that's the biggest show for you guys?
We go to that, and we'll have some cars outside. We'll have some cars inside the buildings, but it wouldn't be a show that we would have all the cars together indoor. There'll be some super shows that we will have cars like that in. The bomb shows. So we definitely try to hit those. There's only a couple a year that we really try to, we'll have the opportunity and they'll reserve so many spots for us. And so, sometimes they'll ask us how many, and I think how it works is they'll try to block off 80 spots, 90 spots.
Right, for you
and
guys.
Then we try to fill those shoes. So, and there's a lot of other clubs that they've got a ton of cars. So, I guess it's like friendly competition in a way. You know what I mean? There's a lot of participation there. And so I'm definitely having fun with that.
Okay. Getting real quick, touching base back on the cars again. What's the oldest car you think you've owned?
I had a 28 Model A Ford pickup that was chopped, channeled, and laid completely on the ground. And that's the oldest. And that, I must have sold that like close to 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And since then, the oldest car would be my 35 Packard. And I'm in love with that car. So,
Yeah.
I can tell. It's going to feel weird to take a Sawzall to it.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? But I'm going to be like that Danny DeVito meme with two cutting wheels.
Yeah.
So anyway, I started cutting. That's a pretty nice car. So anyway.
I can't wait to see it. I'm about to come back just to check that out, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to capture as much of that on video as I can because there's going to be a lot of...
Make that your first video for YouTube. That way they know what you're all about.
It might just be. But I got some ideas. We're going to be chopping this 36.
Can't wait to see that one too.
So that's another old car. I've got 36 Pontiac. So I'm going to chop that one for the channel, and then and the list goes on. So there's a whole lot that I want to accomplish, but I definitely plan on showing a lot. So I'm excited about that. It's kind of like a new chapter. And it's something I'm at square one, so I have to like learn it. I have to earn it. I have to earn like people's respect. And I think just after seeing the way people are with me on social media, there's a lot of respect there for what I do, and almost overwhelming. So it's just like I'm really proud of where I've gotten, but it's like proof that I should be doing something else. So we're gonna give it a try. I think the biggest thing is trying to stay committed to it and stay consistent.
Right.
And I'm sure it's that could be a lot of work, right?
It's a whole lot of work.
But it takes what it takes. We just gotta make shit happen.
Obviously. I think is there anything that you want to share? Anything personal? Any shout outs or thank yous or anything you want to say to anybody?
Oh man, I definitely want to shout out my club, Duke's Car Club. We've got 55 chapters across the globe. Shout out to my kids, my mom, my friends, all my family. I'm just happy to be here.
Hey,
I'm in a good.
That's right.
I'm in a good spot right now, and blessed to have as much work as I have. I've gotten to a point where I can literally pick and choose my work. That took a long time to get there because not everyone's busy and they'll take what they can get.
Right.
And for me, it's like having to navigate not only that, but all my customers are friends. So it's like, it's not like you can cut anyone in line. It's like the wait's so long that even like it could be my best friends that they gotta wait because I'm working on another friend's cars.
Right.
Several of the cars that are in here are club members. You know what I mean? And they wait in line like everybody else. So I'm just blessed that I'm able to do this that way because things could always be worse, but life is good.
Okay. Any have you ever had like or a friend's car or just any car that's come through here? He's like, I really don't know how to do it, but I'm gonna make it work. You ever have those type of days?
Yes.
You always wonder like, is something coming? I can't do that.
Here's the thing: you really being creative is one thing, but being inventive is another.
Yeah.
So I got to look at all this like it's just metal. Mm-hmm. It's got four wheels. It steers. It goes. It stops.
Yeah.
And there's already so much proven technology with things that you're just going to like gather like information from you know several sources for being able to make a part. So we make stuff all the time. I mean, I've got this 36 Oldsmobile here that I'm literally almost remaking the upper arm. I'm just modifying it heavily so that I can put some lifts on that thing, because where the cylinder would come through the frame, there's what's called knee action in the way, and that's basically a built-in shock in the upper arm so that the car can ride good. But now that we have to eliminate that, they don't make it very easy, so we basically have to fabricate parts. And I'm lucky that I was able to buy a CNC plasma cutter and get really good at operating the software for it. So, and I've got a real good sense for like geometry when it comes to this suspension steering stuff. And it's not necessarily, it doesn't come natural. It comes from making mistakes over the years and learning, and something will show you proof of how and why it's wrong. So you'll try it again until it's right.
So you figure it
and
out.
Even if you make a bunch of stuff and throw away the things that didn't work, if that's all it cost you to have figured something out and know that for the rest of your life, not to mention that whatever you learn there is going to carry over to other things, and you start to become real natural at this. So it went from being very like trivial and very difficult at times to like work being fun. You know what I mean? So it's like, it doesn't feel like work anymore, and I think that's the best part about it. I've tried working at other places and having my shop. Didn't need to. I just saw benefits in doing it, and maybe just from getting bored of doing the same old thing. And every time I'd get a job for like the city, it wouldn't last long, because it would be a short amount of time before I asked myself, what the hell am I doing here? I got so much work piled up, and I think it just makes me realize that I'm taking this for granted. And then I get right back in here and I just hit it hard, man. And I do my thing, and I think I got to a point where like I'm kind of settled into my spot, very solidified.
Yeah, because I love it for you. I love it for you, brother. Like, I'm glad you settled in.
Yeah, so yeah, it took a little while to figure it all out, but I'll tell you, man, I know that there's a lot more. There are people that I look up to, whether they're no longer around and gone and have learned from them, or watching them, you know what I mean? Like, I'll give you an example. I was at an age where Jesse James came on TV and had Monster Garage, and he had his company, West Coast Choppers. They were local to here.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, for me to watch, I wasn't like a huge fan of his style of bikes. They're super cool, don't get me wrong, but I've always been into the older stuff. I've got an old Panhead from the 50s, an old Harley, and that's always been my jam, was the older stuff, right? More original, but chopper, you know, where we take original stuff and chop it down, whether it was to shorten Springer front ends or just do whatever, modify frames, rake them. And he was completely manufacturing bikes, and it was just like crazy. Had his own channel on Discovery, like he really made it. Right. You know what I mean?
Took
and
off.
so the kind of respect I have for someone like that is, I'm like, to see someone from around town that made it. You know what I mean? I didn't know him real well, but since then we've become kind of friends. We talk back and forth. I've helped him find rare parts that he was looking for. He'll hit me up. The best was when he hit me up one time and was like, hey man, you gonna have any more of those "Sorry We're Cruising" hats that are on your website? And I was like stoked. I'm like, man, like this is the guy I looked up to, watched him on TV.
He's buying something from you.
Yeah, and then I was like, man, I'll send you a couple of them. If I send you some shirts, will you wear them? And he's like, oh, yeah. So he sent me a bunch of stuff back, and so I just like a big respect for someone who made it, because you only get to see what you see on TV or social media, so you don't get to see all the hard stuff, you know what I mean? And I know how he started. I mean, I don't know his full story, but you know, he worked for Boyd Coddington. He had a shop in I
don't think I knew that.
Yeah, so he used to work for Boyd. I mean, seeing things on TV, him telling his story here and there, I've gathered enough info where I'm like, it's relatable. You know, he's not Superman, but you know what? His craft, I mean, even though he's got money, he still goes out to the garage every day turns on all his equipment and just
Goes at it.
just bangs on
Yeah,
stuff.
basically the same stuff that you showed me when I first got here. Yeah,
It's because it's passion, so it's there, and I really love doing this stuff. I wake up in the morning and sure I got to drink my coffee. It takes me a few minutes to kind of get going, and then like from 1 minute to the next, I'm like, let's do it. Let's get dressed and let's do this. And I can't wait to leave the house. I already got 4 places I got to go to on the way, get some parts and things, and then roll that door down, and I just get right to work.
I know that's right. Yeah, I know all about that. I've been to a couple other people's shops and I got to close the doors in order to work.
Sometimes
people just come and talk.
Well, it's becoming crazier lately, and it's all right. I love having people stop by, but when it's like one after the other, it just gets a little crazy. So sometimes I just need some alone time.
Yeah. When these videos and stuff come out, they're gonna start coming. Yeah.
The visitors, where I'm like, man, I really needed to see a face right now. Like,
it'd
locked
be
in
like
here
that
for a while, so it's just yeah.
All right, so I mean, almost about to wrap it up, but I do. There's a question that I typically always ask the people that I'm interviewing. Is there a big fear that you have in life that you would care to share? Like, is there any fears that you like? Man, I got this fear.
There's a couple.
Really?
Losing it all due to like whatever circumstance, or losing a close friend or family member is something you can't prepare for. Either one, because you're not expecting that to happen. So, and they say expect the unexpected, but I don't want to live my life worried about it. So when the time comes, I fear for that time. I know how precious life is, because at my age, I've lost so many friends and family that I'm like, it makes me realize, I'm like, man, my days are really numbered. I really want to be out here doing this for another 30, 40, 50 years, and I hope I am.
Yeah.
You see guys like Gene Winfield, he just passed away, and he was 8 years old, and he helped pave the way for some of this customizing between him, Bill Hines, George Barris, Dick Dean, and all these other
major
greats,
names.
And speaking of Jesse James, one of my favorite episodes of anything I've ever watched on TV was an episode where they built a 54 Chevy, where they sectioned the body, chopped the top, and all those guys were on that episode.
It was gold? The car?
It was like a gold color.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
And I heard somebody bought it at auction for like a really
I
good
think they
deal.
did. I almost want to say that I was following them for a little while too.
Like crazy. And I wish that was the case today. I'd buy the car, because the people that had their hands on it, I mean, that's legendary.
Right.
The closest thing I have to having had hands on something like that, and I think it's here, is when George Barris was alive, and for those who don't know, he's the one that designed and built the original Batmobile.
Batman, monsters and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then like, I don't know if it was the Munsters or the Addams Family, but one of those.
It was one of the two. Yeah. It might have been Addams Family. You're right.
And many more rides, and a lot of those rides live at Galpin Autosports in the Valley.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the Hero Automerc and all these other famous firsts and movie cars.
Yeah.
They're there where you can. I mean, it is a museum, but I don't think it's just open to the public.
Yeah.
But this guy Dave Shutton, huge respect, awesome car builder, who has built very similar and comparable custom cars from the era of where it all started. Bubble roofs and all this crazy stuff. That's not easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so I was at a car show in Culver City when George Barris was still around. And he would throw this car show in Culver City. It was like a Barris show. And I remember being there, and I saw him, and I knew Gene Winfield was there too. And these guys, they work on old Mercs. Like, that was their thing. And I'm just like, light bulb. And I went to the vendors, and I was hoping to find a die-cast toy of an old 49 to 51 Mercury.
Right.
And I found one that was blue with white walls, chopped, everything. And I was like, no way. So I bought it, carefully took it out of the package, had Gene signed it, Bill signed it, and who else signed it? Let me see. Gene, Bill, and there's one more signature on there. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank.
But, it'd be like that. I'm not good with names at all. Yeah, it'd be like that.
And So anyway, I'm just happy to have captured that because I don't know anyone else that has anything like that. You know, it's the kind of car that they built, and I actually had them
sign it. That's awesome.
while they were still alive. So
wow.
yeah. So yeah, aside from that, fears, man, I fear God.
You ain't the only one, brother. You ain't the only one. Well, shoot. I mean, I guess that's pretty much about it, man. I think we covered quite a bit. Unless there's anything else you want to share, anything else?
I think we covered a lot.
Yeah,
I appreciate you coming down and checking out my shop.
Man, it's a beautiful shop, man.
Dojo.
I'm glad you got to this point, man. You know what I mean? I hope you know a whole lot more for you in the future.
Yeah,
you know
that's what I'm striving for, man. I'm here to learn. I'm a student of every day, man. I can't wait to learn something new because there's so much cool shit out there to do. And
there is.
You know, imagine if you're the person responsible for cool shit to happen. So if it's got 4 wheels and it's old, I want in on that. So.
My man. Well, as y'all can see, man, make sure y'all follow him. Cruzwell, man. We here. Another episode.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Shoot, if I got enough on here, let me see.
I ain't doing what I'm doing. I gotta do what these niggas ain't doing. I gotta do what these niggas ain't doing. I got to do what these niggas ain't doing. That shit, do it. Feel me, bro?